Tjee, jong, was het een makkelijke reis hierheen?
Nee, tenminste, het was hemelsbreed, was niet zo ver waar we naartoe moesten, maar ik denk dat we er 4
Bijna 4 uur.
4 uur over hebben gedaan. Er was heel veel file, we weten niet waarom, want er is geen nationale feestdag, er is geen voetbal, er is geen rodelen, jodelen of wat is het?
Slodelen?
Slodelen, skivaren, weet ik veel wat. Maar ja, we zijn er. Misschien dat de heel Zwitserland ook nog naar Daniel Weiss wilde, want we zijn nu in de Florastraße in Oester. Het is iets voorbij Zurich vanaf het westen uit gezien.
Ja.
En hier zit wat voor sommige studio, in ieder geval mastering engineers wel bijna een soort heilige is, Daniel Weiss.
Right now we are in Weiss engineering in Oester, Switzerland, and I'm showing you our facility. This section here is for manufacturing our units. We get the assembled boards from our contractors here in Oester. We have 2 companies doing that for us, and then we assemble those boards into the units. We do all the mechanic stuff and wiring, etc. And then in the end we have to test them, of course, before we ship them. And that we do all here in our facilities.
Where are the boards created?
Here in Oester at
Also?
2 companies, yeah.
Okay.
They are specialized in doing contracting work. So, office, my workplace here.
Well, work in progress. I see some tannoys.
Yeah, I like them actually. Here is some repair stuff we have to do. This is our measurement space where we do the end testing the units and repairing. I have some repairs here. Places for software and hardware design. Of course, the most is software. I mean, nowadays in terms of effort.
Yes, because there's obviously a big shift from hardware to software now.
Yeah, right. Yeah, in digital audio anyway, of course. So
yeah.
We do converters, and that's the hardware. And then we have DSP chips, which need software. This is our analog kind of laboratory with lots of test equipment.
Wow.
Yeah, it's
scopes.
Some old stuff, but very good stuff. It's all those HP
measurement.
They cost a fortune back then, but now you can get them very cheaply on the web. But they're still, very good. It's extremely high quality equipment.
The glory days of HP.
Yeah, right. Like this spectrum analyzer, that was maybe 50k back then, but nowadays you pay a few hundred.
A few hundred?
Yeah, it's incredible, Which goes from 10 hertz to 500 megahertz. That's fairly unique. So audio range is also covered.
Pretty big bandwidth.
Yeah.
To professional mixing consoles, right?
Yeah, that's not Lunchbox.
Oh, not Lunchbox. Sorry.
Is something else. But that's our first modular system for CD mastering, so digital signal processing. That we started in '84, where the CD came on the market, and then all of a sudden there was a gap in the market, so a chance to have digital signal processing for CD mastering. Before that, everything was made in the analog domain, and back then we had one single competitor, the Neve digital transfer console.
Oh,
that was our competition, and that was it. So it was we were very successful with that system. Yeah, that's still actually it's up to the current technology. In the studio, 96K is already a high frequency.
Yes.
It's not like 192. That's craziness
so
of the high end.
It's standard.
Yeah. Yeah, and a lot of studios work at 48 or 40/1. They don't mind. So
is it necessary to go higher than 96?
No, not in my opinion.
No.
You can. I agree with Bob Stewart on that.
Yeah.
He says it's about 64 kilohertz would be okay. So.
But that's a weird frequency, sampling frequency.
Yeah, well, he has some reasons to state that. But 96, I mean, we have 96, and that would be fine in that case. So yeah.
And what about DSD then? You have 2.8, 5.6, even 11.2 now.
Yeah, but that's 1 bit.
Yes, of course.
Yeah. This came. There was in some period there was this 1 bit craze, so to speak.
Yeah.
You had this 1 bit D to A converter written on the unit, on the CD players and so on. So that was the 1 bit has the advantage that you don't have non-linearity distortions in the deck, but else you have other problems. You have the idle tone problems, which is still the problem of DSD nowadays because it's 1 bit. And they took the 1 bit because the converters were available. They had those 1 bit converters which they used to get out the 1 bit stream, and they called that DSD. And that's it. Nowadays the converters are multi-bit, sigma delta, like 4 bits or so.
4, 5, 6.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Out of good reasons, I guess. So DSD is, technically it's a flawed format, but I know many people like it, and I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
It has also the disadvantages that you can't process it, and you have to convert
you can't edit it. Yeah. True.
So probably most of the DSD or SA CDs you get nowadays were at some point processed in PCM. So it's not that format which is.
They converted.
Yeah.
So we're in the demo room with the Lightbox.
The Lightbox is this white thing down there. It's a sound bar, but it has some special characteristics in that it has crosstalk cancellation built in. That means that the right speaker here doesn't go to your left ear, and the left speaker doesn't go to your right ear. It sounds strange, but that's possible to be achieved to some extent. So that means you get kind of a headphone, because the headphone is an ideal in terms of crosstalk cancellation. So we have a headphone, but without the problems headphones usually have. And with headphones you have this in-head localization usually, which you don't get here. So you can, ideally you play back like so-called binaural recordings, which have been made with a dummy head. A dummy head means a microphone equipped head sitting in the audience. And such recordings perform very well on that speaker. That you have the impression that you're actually there where the recording has taken place. So you have all the acoustics of the recording space. You have the audience around you. So it's really a different experience when you listen to such a recording with this crosstalk cancellation speaker. But still, it works with ordinary studio productions. It's not that sensitive, to having a binaural recording or a standard recording, stereo recording.
When did you get the idea of building a soundbar? Well, it's not actually a soundbar because that sounds pretty bad. It's more than a soundbar.
Yeah.
When did you get the idea?
Yeah, at some point I kind of discovered this binaural thing because, well, actually it's an old idea. I think in the 70s there was some time a hype about binaural. They did some radio drama, binaurally recorded and meant to listen to via headphones. And in order that the effect works, you have to sit on a symmetrical setup. So you have left and right speakers at the same distance to your ears. So you have to have a certain speaker geometry that it works.
So now we have the Weiss train.
Right, and meaning that you have to define the speaker geometry to design the algorithm for crosstalk cancellation. So it was kind of clear that ideally we would have a single speaker where the geometry is very well defined. So that's why I ended up with a sound bar and not with two separate speakers, which you could set up the wrong way.
And there is some cooperation with other companies in this?
Yeah, PSI Audio in Switzerland here is doing the speaker part, including the woodwork, etc. And Illosonic here in Uster as well, they have done the crosstalk cancellation algorithm, which is a special one actually. There are several crosstalk cancellation algorithms even in public domain, like the Weiss algorithm, which is very old already, but very simple. It works, but the problem with those crosstalk cancellation algorithms is that they color the sound.
Yeah.
If you don't take care of that problem, they color the sound very much, because it's kind of like it's working like a noise cancelling headphone where you have an anti-phase noise to cancel it. Here you have an anti-phase signal to cancel the signal which goes from left to the right ear. You feed another signal from the right speaker to cancel that left speaker signal at the right ear. So that's how it works. So you get some cancellation filter problems, like comp filtering effects. So it's not simple to achieve non-colored playback. But I think with our system we have achieved that. It's you can switch on off, say crosstalk cancellation on off. You don't hear any coloration differences.
Wow. How long did it take?
Yeah, it's been quite some time, already several years working on it, and right now we do the electronics. In the end, or eventually, it will be a all-in-one system. Yeah. So you just hook up, say, an Ethernet connection to the internet, have Tidal or Spotify or whatever streaming, and that's your sound system. You have a single unit for everything.
Cool.
So, or you can hook up an NAS with your audio files and whatever.
And you said that there are 2 channels left, so you can have also
8 channels.
Yeah, actually,
2 extra channels.
Yeah, we will have an extra analog output stereo, where you can. That's a matter of software configuration. You could have, say, a subwoofer connected if you would need that. Well, it goes down to 35 hertz, but still. Or you could have an additional stereo speaker pair, or you could have a rear pair, speaker pair with also crosstalk cancellation added to it. And such a rear pair would allow you to broaden the stage. So the louder the rear pair is, the broader the stage gets. So cool. It's kind of an effect.
When can we buy one?
Yeah, I wanted to have one for Munich. I mean a final version, but that's too tight now. So it will be third quarter, I would say, of this year.
Oh wow, this year.
Yeah,
that's good news.
And you have an idea of the cost?
Yeah, well, I don't know yet, but we tell people usually about 25,000 euros. Yeah. So that's.
And will it be a Weiss, or will it be a PSI, or will it be? Do you have a new brand for it?
We will have a new brand, yes, because then we can do a new distribution chain. Probably the market is different, actually. Different from high end, different from Pro Audio.
Different from whatever you 3 of you are doing. Yeah.
I guess so. Yeah, it could be some lifestyle.
I see big boats, yachts,
or something like that.
Yeah.
Or vacation houses.
Yeah.